finest figure skaters from around the globe compete in the ISU Grand Prix. From the city of St. Petersburg, the Cup of Russia. Tuesday on ESPN. And now, more great moments on ESPN. The year was 2004. The San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers were locked in an NBA Conference semifinal. Tim Duncan scores a clutch point, only to be outdone by Derek Fisher. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Back in Green Bay, where the Packers have cut the lead to 3. In Gatto we trust, in Favre we believe. That's pretty good.
Everybody came tonight to see Brett Favre play well, and Stamkon Gatto has just taken over this crowd. He really has.
R.W. McQuarters is deep to receive. His gas tank might be on empty right now after trying to chase down Gatto on that last touchdown run, and the Lions will start from the 37-yard line. Sean Bryson on that return. And the young man from Nigeria trying to make a name for himself in the NFL.
Hollywood has the Academy Awards. Now poker has the Royal Flush Awards, better known as the Flushies. 2004 was the year that the highlight culture invaded poker, raising the ante on post-hand celebrations. Greg Ramers may have been the biggest. Matthias Anderson, the loudest. There was one other performance, however, that Flushies could not ignore. With entrances so grand, reactions so spectacular, and perhaps the best line ever spoken after getting busted.
If there weren't luck involved, I guess I'd win every one.
Phil Hellmuth turned in a transcendent performance in 2004, earning him the Flushie for Performance of the Year.
End of interview.
We have an added bonus in Green Bay. A little breeze is kicked up. It's about 10 miles an hour.
We should be approaching 0 then.
I think we passed it. Kevin Jones out of Virginia Tech in his second year, dragging Roy Manning with him.
You're kidding me. They're doing the wave in Lambeau Field.
That's where the winds come from.
That's where that 10-mile-an-hour wind
I wonder where that breeze came from.
They're doing a wave.
Why not? I love it.
That's one way to
Tradition.
Yeah, but it's when the guys pick their shotguns up on the wave. Boom.
I think they're just moving just to make sure they can.
Well, one thing that has to pick up is Detroit's offense now. They're going to have to start matching Green Bay.
Jones again picks his way about a yard shy of a first down. Excuse me, it was Bryson.
One of the things that the Detroit Lions did when Dick Duron took over, he in essence named Greg Olson the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator with Ted Tollner, who was. And really, Greg Olson is the one calling the plays. Now, he called them the last 3 games last year, and they put up over 350 yards throwing the football in 2 of those 3 games and beat the Bears at the end of the season. So he's doing a pretty darn good job with this offense as well.
3 wide receivers on 3rd and short. Garcia throws underneath and threw it behind Scotty Vines, who reached back and got one hand on it. And now Scotty Vines out there exchanging words with one of the Packer defenders. Nick Harris, who is having a good year punting the football, to kick to Antonio Chapman. Not that time, though. Gets a great bounce for him. And will be down at the 3-yard line. So Harris gets off a low skidding punt that gets a great bounce, and Keith Smith downs it. Let's check in with Susie.
Mike, no doubt one of the best stories of this season, the emergence of Sam Gatto. While the other players hid from the cold during pregame warmups, he was out here for a long time. A good luck hug from his mom, Grace. 11 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown tonight. He explained to us that not only is he not offended that Mike Sherman hasn't anointed him a legitimate NFL back, he said he's actually doing me a favor, because it'd be too tempting to think I had arrived. He said, plus I'd only played 6 games, 4 good ones. Well, I think we can say now 5 good ones with a 102-yard performance tonight.
Susie, there just aren't enough guys coming out of college right now who you would classify as humble. And he is a lot of fun to talk to. Packers deep in a hole right here. Gatto. Not much.
Who was evaluating talent at Liberty?
Just because he was 3rd string?
You know what? His coach called Al Saunders out in Kansas City. And the other thing about Sam Khan was when he went to Kansas City, he wasn't quite sure whether he could play or not. He thought he could. But when he started running around in the mini camps with the rookies, he looked around and said, you know what? I can do this. I believe I can do this. And he certainly has.
Said his goal was if he could play in the NFL somehow for 3 or 4 years just on special teams and get enough money to go to medical school, he would just be thrilled. Farr fakes one way, goes over the middle. That one is complete to Don Lee. And Lee taken down by Wally Rayner. That'll be shy of a first down. Well short.
How many times in his career, Joe, have you watched him with that little fake pumping and then it's like a windmill, and then he continues, he goes back over again. Here it goes, watch. Boom. Okay, here it comes back over the middle. That little pump, and then that one for about 8 yards over the middle. That's nice.
You have to be able to get it through and load it so quick so that everything stays on rhythm. Plus, he knows where everyone is, so he can play a little bit of games with it.
We've reached the 2-minute warning in a 3-point game.
NBA on ESPN live Wednesday night. Big Daddy versus the new kid on the block. Top draft pick Andrew Bogut faces his biggest opponent, Shaquille O'Neal in the Miami Heat. Heat Bucks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN. The finest figure skaters from around the globe compete in the ISU Grand Prix. From the city of St. Petersburg, the Cup of Russia. Tuesday on ESPN.
Stay tuned for the Kia Halftime Show with Chris Berman, the fastest 3 minutes in television. Boomer's halftime heroes. Will Clemens actually go back to Boston? That's all coming up on the Kia Halftime Show.
Go for it, Roger. Go for it. Go win another Cy Young.
Still got that huge fastball. Why not?
Wicked slider.
Third down for Farr. And that should be enough for a first down as Donald Driver makes his first catch of the night and then fights for extra yardage after taking a whack from Bracy Walker.
Wow. I mean, first of all, you have to catch the ball. I mean, there's a lot of traffic right here. A little quick hitch, post, tries to run under and catch it. Now he gets the big shot up inside. And Brett just stays with it all the way. It's the over-the-hand delivery that's become so familiar in Brett Favre. Wow, he get bounced for the first down.
Screen, and that one was sniffed out very well by the defense. Tony Fisher didn't have a chance.
That was 92, Sean Rogers. I'm going to tell you what, this is a great play on defense.
He's a terrific player.
I think you have to start thinking about making a decision here if you're Mike Sherman right now, because Dick Duron is tickled. If you throw one, it's incomplete, it stops the clock. You're going to give him the ball back. I believe what the Packers will do is let the clock run down, run a play. Detroit wants to use one of their timeouts, that's fine, but just keep on, let it run down.
These are the ones that usually have draw play written all over them if they're going to run. And there it is. And the Lions thinking along the same lines. Now the crowd is booing. I don't know why.
We have a timeout on the play.
Now here's the little inside secret about television. We've got heaters and blankets up here because it's about 0. So they tell us when we come on camera, go ahead and drop the blankets so we don't see them.
Some of us don't wear blankets up
Some
there.
of us don't have
get
a
a blanket
blanket.
on?
Well, no, and I don't have gloves
Some
either.
of us would like a couple of more blankets. Let's put it that way.
Well, ever since you got that blood flowing through you, now you feel the cold a little bit more, don't you?
Exactly. Exactly.
Look at that. The wind chills. It's 14 degrees up here, 6-degree wind chill. And when they started the wave, that dropped down to 0 for a few minutes.
Well, you know, it's not that. It really is not that bad here.
No, not bad at all, Paul.
I'm serious. It's kind of comfortable up here.
Compared to what?
We're fine, Mike. Give me back my gloves.
You guys, look at these people. There isn't an empty seat in this building.
No, they're remarkable. They are remarkable in Green Bay. I mean, they show up. 72,000 people show up for the preseason. 72,000 people show up for an ice bowl. Hunter again dragged down at the 5-yard line. And that was a nice play by defensive end James Hall. And the Lions will use their last timeout with 27 seconds to go. Check in with Susie.
Well, Mike, we know these are two teams playing for pride. Jeff Garcia told us all he wanted to see from his team: fight, battle, and have fun. Well, we know Roy Williams was having fun. The great control on the touchdown. Sam Gatto, one of the best stories of the season. Another 100-yard game and a 64-yard touchdown to boot. Barr becomes the first player with 14 seasons of 3,000+ yards. Just another mark in a brilliant career. 13-10 Lions.
All right, thank you, Susie. And here's something we always try to point out near the end of a half. If they call for a fair catch and declare that they want a free kick, they could actually get an easier attempt at a field goal. We'll explain a little more in a second.
I think you take the fair catch.
High and short. McQuarters lets it bounce at the 35. Now, if R.W. McQuarters had come up and made that catch at the 35-yard line, they could have had a free kick at a field goal. No rushes. All the time they need to kick it.
Well, and there wasn't that much dangerous about it either.
No. You can unwrap an NBA doubleheader on Christmas Day on ABC Sports. First at noon Eastern, the Spurs take on the Pistons. Then at 3, Kobe and the Lakers go to Miami to take on the Heat. That's on Christmas Day.
Well, the reason I was saying is R.W. McQuarters, I mean, you've got to make a stab at it, because even if you would have muffed the ball, you got your guys here in the Green Bay Packers, and they're not going anywhere. They have no time. They have one timeout, but they would have gone anywhere.
But if you muff it, you lose the opportunity. Now you have a chance for one play, then you can get up and ground it and attempt to make the kick. And all you need to do is pick up 7-8 yards. And I think Jason Hansen will be well within kicking range. I mean, he's 3 for 6 from 49 yards, so you can get him in range pretty easy.
3 wide receivers. Pollard is the tight end. Garcia goes to the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. And the timing was off on that. The pass intended for Mike Williams. He was making his turn. The ball had already gone past him.
Well, the young receiver didn't read blitz, and when you're Mike Williams, all he had to do is read blitz, and he has to cut the pattern shorter, because Garcia did the right thing. He got the ball out as quick as he possibly could. Mike Williams didn't adjust to it.
He can do it again. And now if you're the Green Bay Packers defensively, you have to be thinking that they're going to throw the ball to the outside to try and advance it. Because if they throw it in the middle of the field, they're never going to get a chance to line up and have a shot at the field goal.
Here comes the blitz again. Garcia hangs in the pocket and throws intended for Roy Williams. And it turns into a 2-man defender situation. Harris got over there. Al Harris just having a magnificent year.
Al Harris up in press coverage. That's where he wanted to play Roy Williams. Roy Williams, big, goes and gets it. almost gets a hand on it. The ball's thrown exactly where you want it to be. You just have to give a lot of credit to terrific defensive job.
Boy, that was just textbook. He gets the great jam, turns and runs with him.
I talked to Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator of the Packers, about him. He said he's a perfect build. Perfect build for a corner. He's 6'1", he's 185, has great ball skills, quick to the ball.
So the Lions, thinking they can't be in field goal position here, go for the short pass. The catch is made, and the clock is going to run out.
It's over.
So they pass up an opportunity at a long field goal, go for the short pass. The clock runs out. Our score here in Lambeau, the Lions 13, the Packers 10. Let's join Chris Berman for the Kia halftime show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. So a close game in the Norris division there at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. We had to say it. And welcome to halftime, everybody. Wow, there were some hot teams on these cold evenings coming into Week 14 of the National Football League. 3 teams had 5-game winning streaks. 2 teams, Chicago and Seattle, had 8-game winning streaks. And then there was this other squad. Hey, you might have been following them a little bit this year that has won 12 in a row. Pretty good considering they only played 12 games. We begin our fastest 3 minutes with the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts going up against a team that had given them a hard time, Jacksonville. But they got off to a big start when Peyton Manning hit Marvin Harrison twice. To the Jags' credit, they were down 26-3. They made a comeback, but the Colts, 4th team ever to start 13-0. They beat the Jags 26-18. As for the winners of 8 straight, the Chicago Bears in Pittsburgh, Hines Ward in the end zone. And then when the snow started falling, the bus wore snow tires. Jerome Bettis, 100 yards more on him in a moment. Steelers win 21-9. Bears streak by the boards. But Seattle streak perfect. The Matt Hasselbeck, Bobby Ingram touchdown. Seahawks beat San Francisco 41-3, 83-3. They beat opponents the last 7 days. They often call him Speedo, his real name, Mr. Earl. Cadillac Williams, 112 for the Bucks. Rondé Barber, a big interception in Tampa Bay, ties Carolina for first in the NFC South. They win 20-10. Eli Manning picked off 3 times in the 4th quarter and overtime by the game Philadelphia Eagles. That's Michael Lewis. But Jose Umenyiora in overtime hits Mike McMahon. Bumbo! Kendrick Allen falls on it for the Giants. And Jay Feely, GOAT a couple of weeks ago. Hero tonight. Good, 36 yards, 26-23. The Giants beat the Eagles in overtime. Keeping pace with them was Dallas. It wasn't easy. Trent Green, Eddie Kedison, Chiefs lead in Big D. 4 minutes to go, 28-24. But Drew Bledsoe to Dan Campbell. Touchdown, 31-28. And Lawrence Tynes waits for no one. What was that kick? No good. Cowboys win 31-28. Denver didn't look impressive, but they won for the 10th time this year. Jake Plummer to Kyle Johnson. Broncos 12, Baltimore 10. San Diego, a stunning loss at home to Miami, as Gus Frerotte to Chris Chambers. Time has come today. They hooked up twice, 23-21 Miami. Chargers playoff hopes in trouble. Tom Brady, ever the scrambler, as the Patriots looked impressive in Buffalo. Corey Dillon back. More on him in a moment. He had 100 yards. Pats, 35-7, win it the Bills. Rudy Johnson on an off day for Carson Palmer. Rudy did the job of the ground, 169 for Cincy. Charlie Fry to Steve Hayden touchdown. Browns thinking upset. Carson Palmer to TJ Houshmandzadeh, 20-17 Bengals. But the Bengals don't ice it away until the end of the game. Shane Graham, good, 23-20. Cincy's 110 for the first time since 1988. Corin Robinson on an end around. And the Vikings have won 6 in a row. They beat the Rams 27-13. In a game which featured 7 turnovers, Antonio Brown, kick return Washington. Could go all the way. Redskins have home games with Dallas and the Giants coming up. They're alive. They win 17-13 at Arizona. Curtis, my favorite Martin, first missed game, 1998. He'll miss the rest of the year, but the Jets get a rare win. Brooks Bollinger, Justin McCarron's ruled in. Jets beat their Raiders 26-10. Only the Houston Texans can figure out more bizarre ways to lose a game. It's tied. They're behind 13-10 to Tennessee, but Jerome Mathis gives them a chance, and when Ronaldo Hill has a flag on the last play of the game, Chris Brown can tie it. I've seen corner kicks better than that. No good. Texans lose again, 13-10.
This halftime show is presented by Kia Motors, the power to surprise.
When we return, other news. Roger Clemens, could he return to where he started? Ron Artest wants to move. Plus, we have halftime heroes coming up.
As a source of energy, wind power alone can't do it all. Because just to power a city like Paris would take 20,000 turbines. We believe that meeting all our energy needs will take innovation, conservation, and collaboration. Will you join us?
NBA on ESPN live Wednesday night. Big Daddy versus the new kid on the block. Top draft pick Andrew Bogut faces his biggest opponent, Shaquille O'Neal and the Miami Heat. Heat Bucks live Wednesday night. The NBA on ESPN.
Brett Favre at Lambeau Field, starting his 218th consecutive game as the Packers quarterback. But Roy Williams stole the thunder early with a great catch for the Lions after they'd gotten a couple of field goals. And who's been the star so far for the Green Bay Packers? A young man out of Liberty University, Sam Gatto. And that's where we stand at the half, 13-10. The Lions over the Packers in a series that goes back to the 30s, and rarely has it ever been a game like this? One team 2-10, the other 4-8.
You don't see too many 2-10, 4-8 games, and to see it at this quality. Both the teams have been through a lot of different things. The Packers have been in every football game, and certainly this is a night that Brett Favre wants to try and get things back on stride. Didn't play well last week, got beat up against the Bears, knows that he wants to play better football. He knows how disappointed he was.
Well, you guys mentioned during the first half that it looked like a different Jeff Garcia than a week ago when he was still recovering from a serious injury at the beginning of the season. He's run the offense pretty well.
Two things. The defense has played extremely well, except for that one run on Sam Gatto. And other than that, Jeff Garcia, that he's had his people in scoring position. He didn't make a dumb mistake. He threw a touchdown pass. They came out with 2 field goals. He has done everything they've actually asked him to do. So now you know why he's starting at quarterback tonight, because with him, they have the better chance to win.
But, Paul, isn't it still that one thing that the Lions lack, and that's going down the field and taking chances? They're going to have to incorporate that over the last part of this season to at least make it a part of threatening people with the size of these receivers downfield.
They need to do it on a warmer place.
In the dome?
The Lions kick off. Hansen falls down, and Hansen is still down as he approached the ball. Ends up being a squib kick. And the veteran very close to seriously hurting himself on that play. Kenny Peterson made the recovery for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, he's more embarrassed than he was getting hurt. Here he comes. Hansen is going to his plant leg just goes. Look at it. It just slips right out in front of him. And he's lucky to make contact with the ball. He's okay.
He's a kicker. He's tough.
So the Packers get great field position to start with, and Favre completes the pass to Driver. Let's check in with Susie.
Mike, I talked to Dick Duran about the 2 goals he set for his team tonight. One was run the ball effectively. He felt they had done that pretty well, enough to give the defense a break. But he said the problem has been all season. Defense is playing well. Then they give up that one big play. And he was talking about the 64-yard touchdown run by Sam Gatto. And I asked Mike Sherman about it. Well, what do you think of him now? And he said another big play like that, and he'll win me over.
Coaches are never satisfied. They may need another big play like that from him before it's over. Favre unloads the pass, underthrown to Ferguson, no flag. And Favre said the other day that's really what he has missed with Javon Walker. He can throw the ball up in the air. At worst, it's going to be a jump ball incompletion, but Walker was the guy who was capable of getting the pass interference calls.
Well, I think in this case, maybe Ferguson might have even had a chance to do it, but the ground's so slick, he can't get any footing to try and come back for the ball. But Brett will do that. When Javon Walker comes back, and I believe Brett will be here next year, that he will make those plays down the field for him.
And excellent coverage again by R.W. McQuarters. Far this time, short and incomplete, intended to Driver, and McQuarters was all over it.
You know, R.W. McQuarters is showing something. He's returning punts, but R.W. McQuarters is showing you some quick hands as a defensive back. Watch this. Now watch it when he sees the ball come. Look at his hands inside. Very nice. Never touched Driver. Just knocked the ball down.
Originally a first-round draft choice for San Francisco. Has bounced around in his 8 years. Sander to punt to McQuarters. Fair catch signal made. Bobbled it, got it back. And Lions will maintain possession after a 30-yard punt. 13-3 Detroit, or 13-10 Detroit.
You might call it the Raymer Revolution, but it's nothing new. Sunglasses have been a long-standing part of poker. There are the wraparound glasses, the glasses-on-glasses glasses, and, of course, the upside-down glasses.
They see it on TV, and monkey see, monkey do.
But the big debate is, does it make a difference?
Yes, it does.
It's probably not true.
Yeah, absolutely.
No comment.
Kind of depends. People who think they're fooling you with sunglasses really aren't.
I don't think that's really that big a deal. What I like about the sunglasses is I really don't have to worry too much about what's happening with my eyes.
A lot of the neophytes that come in, they're wearing dark wraparound things, and to me, that says fear.
He's a scaredy cat. When you shift your eyes left or right, it can signal strength or weakness. And now you can't tell where I'm looking. You have to admit, people just look cool in sunglasses. I love it.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Saab. When you used to build jets, you don't build just another car. Saab, born from jets. Pioneer, proud sponsor of the Pioneer Pure Vision Las Vegas Bowl. And the LeBrons and NikeBasketball.com.
Lambeau Field now has a capacity of over 72,000. It opened in 1957, and there are over 68,000 people on the season ticket waiting list. 5,000 or 6,000 will freeze to death tonight and free up some space. Underneath to Jones from Garcia, and Jones will take it for about 9 yards.
We want to show you on Pass Track just a wonderful job that Jeff Garcia does. It's very important two things happen when you're throwing a fade. You've got to be able to put an arc under the ball so that it gets over the defender, and the wide receiver has to leave the quarterback enough room towards the sidelines to be able to make a play. What impressed me so much about this was watch Roy Williams' head. Even before he has control of the ball, he was looking to make sure he could get his feet in bounds.
2nd and 1 for Detroit from the 36. Pinner got very close to the sticks before he was thrown back.
You know, Jeff Garcia, you talked about him, and this guy came to Detroit, and he got hurt, and he didn't play very well, and they weren't consistent offensively. But when you sit down and talk to him, you know that when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, this guy went to 3 Pro Bowls. He is such a competitor. All he wants to do is win and make his team play better. And I thought the nice thing about it, when he was talking about the last 4 games, he said, I want him to play every single play. I want him to play tough. And most importantly, I think we need to have some fun, which we haven't had this year.
Garcia straight back, floats it down the near side, incomplete, intended for Scotty Vines out of Wyoming. Let's go to Susie for more on Jeff Garcia.
You know, he's been so outspoken since he arrived in Detroit because he saw immediately that the work ethic just wasn't where it should be. And he was hoping that it was just the off season, but then it carried through to the season. He became more vocal and then took some heat for that. And he said he wasn't going to stop talking until everybody within the team realized what it takes to compete at that high level.
And Susie, there are a lot of people who support Jeff Garcia because of that. And this is pretty much a divided locker room, it seems, when it comes to who should play quarterback. A lot of people on Joey Harrington's side. Boy.
Oh, what a great tackle by Nick Collins, the second-round pick. Nick out of Bethune-Cookman really has stepped up. As a matter of fact, this entire secondary and linebacking core are just full of young football players. This is the perfect tackle. Get yourself square in the hole, deliver the blow, lift, and plant. Well, what a hit. Look at the power.
Who did you ever tackle?
No, I've been tackled a lot. I know what it feels like.
He knows what perfect
I'm talking
form
about it
is.
from the other side. I've seen a lot of perfect tackles on me on film.
That's right.
I observe things like that.
And you know how they feel, too.
Oh, yeah.
Artos Pinner thought he had some running room. Garcia, who can run. Dives head first to get the first down. Nice play by Garcia. If he slides, he doesn't get it.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. You think about Jeff Garcia and his toughness. Now, this guy, in this particular play, watch. Nobody to throw to. Now, he's got some pressure. Instead of sliding, he knows where the first down marker is, and he dives to get it.
And he's now just starting to feel healthy from the broken leg. He had a broken fibula. Now, that's interpreted as a non-weight-bearing bone medically. I broke mine, and it hurts. Forget this non-weight-bearing stuff. It hurts when you go run around. He's finally starting to feel good.
First down, Jones is back in as the running back, and the Lions say, we want to run the football. Garcia didn't think it meant him 2 times in a row, though. Joey Harrington out of Oregon was their first-round draft choice in 2002, the 3rd overall pick in the draft. He has been very inconsistent since he has been in Detroit. Had his best year last year, the first time he threw more touchdown passes than interceptions, but this year has been a major disappointment for him.
And I just don't think that Joey Harrington can survive in Detroit. I think he can play in this league, but he's going to have to play someplace else because I don't know if his teammates and the fans will cut him enough slack.
Jones. The Packers defense throws him back after a gain of about 3.
But isn't it amazing when you talk about Joey Harrington? All this guy needs to do is really, I agree with you, Joe, get a change of climate. Go someplace else and start all over again. Because he has an arm, he can throw the ball. He needs some time to play.
And I think here's the question, though. Jeff Garcia is 35 years old. Does he want to come back to Detroit? I mean, Matt Millen has got decisions to make both from a player standpoint and a coaching standpoint, and you certainly know that he's going to spend more time looking for a coach this time around than he did when he just flat went and hired Steve Mariucci.
3rd and long. Here comes another blitz. They pick it up, and Garcia throws underneath. The catch is made by Williams, but he lost his footing, and he's covered by Marviel Underwood.
I'll tell you, if he catches this ball, he's got a first down. And he keeps his footing.
He keeps his feeding.
Foot.
The feeding is such a bad thing sometimes, I know.
But
it's one of those things that happens, Paul, when it comes to the Detroit Lions. You get it going, you're up around midfield, you have an opportunity to make a play, and all of a sudden you see the frustration in Jeff Garcia's face.
Harris to kick to Chapman. Much better punt this time. And it takes a great bounce for the Lions. That ball hit at the 1 and came back like a Tiger Woods wedge shot. Scotty Vines down to mark the ball at the 4 after a 40-yard kick.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors, 10 more than Tiger Woods, 5 more than Bobby Jones, and 2 more than Arnold Palmer and Ben Hogan combined. He won 71 PGA tournaments in all.
Jack didn't express it outwardly like some people like to talk about it as an Ali did. Jax was just a quiet confident. You knew from his movement and his action, he knew that he was the best.
I was sitting with Jerry Pate, and Nicholas comes through the locker room, doesn't say anything to anybody. And I asked Pate, what was that? And Pate says, those were the Killer Blues walking through here.
He really and truly expected to win on Sunday. And when you think about it, there's a touch of arrogance in it. But the attitude was, the rest of them are going to choke, and I'm not.
(13-10). The Lions continue to lead the Packers. 8:53 to go, third quarter.
The one thing about Favre is, in all these years, Joe, I don't care how cold it is tonight, it doesn't matter where he gets the ball on the field. He never thinks about it. You know, he really doesn't. He's, well, okay, we got to go 97. That's a piece of cake. We'll take 10 at a time, or 12.
Or 97.
Or 97.
One wide receiver, two tight ends. They line up in the eye. Gatto breaks it across the 10, across the 15 to the 18, first down. James Hall made the tackle. Boy, another big play from Gatto.
Joe, that's Kevin Berry again, number 71, playing a tight end on the right-hand side. They're just caving everything in. Look on the right-hand side of the screen, and you'll see it. Kevin Berry just blocks down inside,